Hi, this is Chris from Games Gazette Online, and today I'm going to have a look at The Longest Trench, a Udo Greb design of famous battles of World War One. And those famous battles are set out on a playmat from 1914 through down to 1918, 4 battles in each, all land battles apart from in May the 31st, 1916, when we had the Battle of Jutland, which is a sea battle, and Dogger Bank on January the 24th, 1915. And sea battles can only be fought with fleet cards. Now, this is a prototype of the game which is available on Kickstarter, or should be available in the shops very shortly, I hope. It's a very good game for 2 players. 4 players it says it can play, but I don't find that so much fun unless you're chatting amongst each other and just making it a party game. If you want it as a semi-serious war game, then 2 players is best. Right, at the top there you can see I've got a blue die. That is nothing to do with the game whatsoever, except for it's counting as a marker, because there should have been a yellow marker as well as the red marker, which you can see bottom left. All I'm using is a marker to mark the tug-of-war track, which is towards total victory for either side. This marker is used to show which battle we're on, and each player has a deck of cards. The Axis have one with that picture on them, and which is the German troops, and the Allies have the Allied troops picture on the back. Now, first off, you draw 9 cards. You don't play these open, you keep them in your hand, but for the benefit of this review, I'm going to play them openly, but try to not to cheat. So they've drawn their 9 cards, and they've drawn their 9 cards. Now, you'll notice that I've drawn a fleet 4, which is only playable in sea battles, so that's no good until Dogger Bank, unless I discard it. They've got 2 fleet battles, again, only use in Dogger Bank. Now, you can hang on to these cards until you get to Dogger's Bank, or you can discard them, which means you won't have anything to fight with at Dogger's Bank, because you need fleet cards only, and apart from special cards, which you can use 1 off each turn, there are no support cards, sadly, for the fleet. I think that's a mistake. It's not a mistake in the rules, it's definitely in the rules, and I've spoken to the designers about it quite a lot online, and they're adamant that that's how they want it to play. Personally, I don't like it, because I've drawn here 2 cards out of my 9 in the first hand. They're useless. They're absolutely useless to me until we get to the 5th battle. Now, if I've lost 4 battles by that time and lost points, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, this would have moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it would be a total victory for the Allies. That's what can happen. Not will happen, but what can happen if you hang on to your fleet cards. On the other hand, if you don't hang on to fleet cards and your opponent does, then they're going to win a battle, win the sea battle. So it's a balance of whether you want to hold on to them and also what cards you've got in your hand. Right, so having drawn 9 cards, we decide now whether we want to play a special or not. Now, his specials that I've drawn up here, by the way, I did not rig the decks in any way at all. I shuffled them like I would do for a normal game and took the top 9 cards. That was from both decks, so this just shows you that the game can be totally balanced or imbalanced, and in this case it's worked out as an imbalance. On one front, I can play 2 armies instead of 1. Well, I've only got 2 armies. And on the other, it says my opponent must play support cards face up, because support cards are usually played face down until the final stage of the battle when they're turned over. So I'm going to play that, which means that my opponent must play their support cards face up, which gives me an advantage to see what they've got. Back to the playmat. We're in invading Belgium, and that's an Axis goes first. Axis wins, get an extra card. Allies win, they get 2 extra cards, and a victory point for whoever wins. It's worthy to note that you only get 4 cards at the end of each turn, each battle. So you only get up your hand by 4 cards, and you've got to have a maximum of 9 cards. So as I said already, we're 2 cards down if we keep those fleet cards. Looking at what I've got 3 support cards. We've played 1 special card. I can't even make a 3 front attack, which I'm supposed to do. If you make 3 fronts and you get beaten on all 3 fronts, then you give a decisive victory to the opponent. If there is a blank where nobody wins, it's a draw. It counts as a win for the defender, because all draws count, but it doesn't count as a part of a decisive victory. So you've got to remember that in your head as well. So I could do that and they won't get a decisive victory. Or, in my case, I would, even though I've got 6 points out, I'm almost certainly going to win the Dogger's Bank and get 2 victory points for it. I'm going to discard those 2 and draw 2 more cards as per I'm allowed to. Let's see what we've got here. Now we've got army and another support. Right. Quick note again on here. You'll notice that 14 are pink, 15 are green, etc., etc. Different colour for each year. That's because support cards and some army cards have this little grid on the bottom. I hope you can see that clearly there. I'll try and get out of the way of the light. And they've got the dates down there. And for each of the boxes next to them are the battle boxes across the top. So you'll see on this card in particular, it will give you 3 bonus points, but it won't give you anything for the first 4 battles. So nothing in 1914, nothing for the first half of 1915, and then you'll get the last 2 battles in 15 will give you +3. Similarly in 16, in 17 you'll get bonuses for the first 2 and the 4th, and 18 you'll get bonuses for the last 2 battles. And a lot of the cards have things like that on them. Right, so these cards I will play one at a time. I will play an army card there, and I haven't looked over it to see if he's going to throw anything away. Well, as I said, I've played it before too many times, and we always do the same thing. Yeah, throw away your fleet cards because they're not worth having. Literally, they're not worth having. Right, so have I got a special to play? No special cards for the Axis to play. So the Axis will play an army card up against this army card. So at the moment I've played defence against attack. Attack has got 2 points plus nothing. Defence has got 3 points plus 1 because we're in 2014 first battle. Right, you now play a second army card. I'm just drawing these as they come. And a second army card, and a third army card, and a third army card. Now we've got all bases covered. A three front approach, attack, a 3 front defence. Now, attackers always play first and get countered by the defender. If an attacker plays on the centre, for example, the defender has to play against the centre cards. You can't wait. It's not I put 3 out and then you put 3 out to match. You have to play against the card that's played. Now we put support cards out. These don't really matter at the moment because, for me anyway, because I've got to show what I've got. So I'm winning this battle by 1 at the moment. I'm 2-3 against 2 there. I'm winning that one on this side. I keep saying I'm playing me and I'm I on both sides. And this one is 4 points against 2 points. So on all fronts at the moment the defenders are winning. So we've got to play our cards outright. So we're going to do that, and that. Now, the attack can see what I've done. Their supports are not very good. That's the only one that's worth anything, and that one. So we'll play him as the general in the middle there. I'm already 2 against 4 there. It's still worth playing what I've got. Now, so that's the battle set out. Before we do anything else, we roll, each player rolls 3 die. 4, 5s and 6s are thrown away. 1s, 2s and 3s add their value to it. Right, so we know we've got a hard game there. That's right, we've got a hard fight there. That's a hard battle, but we've got to stop at least stop the defence from getting a decisive victory and wiping out all of them, because that's an extra victory point, and you don't want that. So we'll put our 2 on there and our 1 on there. Right, defence still doesn't see what it's up against, so rolled a 5 and 2 and a 1. That was, well, fortuitous for all the same things. Now we figure we're going to win this one because we've got this extra bonus. We've got an extra bonus there which makes us quite strong. Middle one's a bit weakish, so we'll put 1 on there and we'll put 1 on there. Now, turn over the, doesn't matter which order you do it in. Oops, put them into 2. Right, so we'll look at the battles. We've got no bonus. 2 plus 1 plus no bonus plus 2, that's 5. Here we've got 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So they're victorious, they're defeated. Discarded. Out. Gone. Oh, the heck they get discarded, I think they get discarded out the game. These will get discarded and shoved back in, I believe. Let's just make sure on that one. Yeah. If you lose, you're out, the cards go out of the game. If you win, the cards go onto your discard pile. I was right. Memory's not playing up too good. Right. Sorry, I made a mistake on that one. This won't make any difference, but it was 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 1 from this general, who gives a bonus, which is 6. And we had 8 there, so they still get defeated and out the game, out the way. This battle, it's 2 plus nothing plus 1 is 3 against 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4, 7. That's another victory there, and again, they're out the game. So this is the interesting one, the one that counts. We've got 3, 4, and the 2. I think one wasn't it? 4, 5 on this side against 3 plus 1 plus 3, 7. So again, that's painful. A rout because of the poorly drawn cards, and this is where the game can fall down, because if you get a bad draw, then it just ruins your round, and you've got to hope for a better draw next time. But remember, you don't get the cards. So the battle ended in a win for the Allies. So that's one bonus point and 1 bonus point for a complete rout. So it's 1 bonus point plus 1. And that gives us an extra card. That gives us 2 extra cards, so we draw 3 more cards from our deck. And we're ready for the next battle, which is at Tannenberg. See, that's how it goes. Now these draw 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. They've only got 6 cards again, and really they've got nothing. This lot is going to beat this lot without even trying by the looks of it, but we draw 4 more cards from here. Remember that we can only keep 9 cards, so we'll look at what we've got. There's an army worth 4, even though it doesn't count in the 3rd battle, so that's an army worth 4. We've got an army worth 2, counts in the battle. An army cost 2 doesn't do anything. There's 2 army, doesn't get the bonus there, and 1 army that does get the bonus. You've got maximum one general in the battle, so you can only have one support general, but he'll give one to everybody. You've got specials you can play, choose a card from your discard pile if you want to get another good one back, score immediate victory point, etc. And they can put, on one front you can put 2 armies instead of one, or they can draw a card from the discard pile and add it to their hand. Victory, not worth doing that. We'll play that one, bonus. And we'll take the fleet back just because we know there's a battle coming up and it's pointless really. Don't want to draw an extra card, we've got to get rid of one anyway, so we'll discard that one. So we've got 9 cards, and we'll play the special, which is immediately gain a bonus point. So now look at that, in one fight at the start of the second one there's 3 points for a total victory, and this is painful because we now go through the same thing again. The army puts 3 army up, he can't, he's only got 2. I'll match them with this one, and this one. I'll put support cards up if I've got any support. No, I've got 1 support card. You've got 1 support and 2 support. Roll the dice. 2 2s and a 6. Well, the 2 2s are going to go there. There's nowhere else to go. A 2 and a 3. I'm going to go like that. So this is the second battle. This is for Tannenberg, and the game is almost over at the start, and that's just because the cards were shuffled, dealt out, and didn't get decent cards. Look, how are we doing on this one? 2 points, no bonus. 5 points, 7 points against 4, no bonus because it's the second fight, plus 3 is 7 points. It's a draw, they're defeated, but these go to the discard pile because it wasn't a rout. They weren't destroyed, as far as that's how I understand it. I may be wrong, but that's how I understand it. It's only if it's a complete rout, and it wasn't. Here we've got 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. We've got 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5, 7. So they were routed out, and they go out the game. So after, that's it. You don't get any, they get discarded. You don't get the bonus point for that, but what do we get from here? We get an extra card and 2 victory points. Boing, boing. And that gives us an extra card for passing that one. And already you can see a pattern forming here. If you get into a rut, it's very hard to get out of. And it's silly. It's a shame because this is the way the cards come out for this demonstration. We've played games where it's been cat and mouse, and this has been moving backwards and forwards all the time. But on this occasion, it's just not going to happen. We're going to go on to the next one, which is Marn. But let's just say that I'm going to take 4 more cards. I'll draw 4 more cards for that, like I should do. I'll draw 4 more cards for this one, like I should do. And they've come up really nicely for this, unfortunately. That's no use to me. I've added on those. That doesn't keep that for a minute. I'm just going to pile and end it. First I've got to get down to 9, so I've got 2 cards to get rid of. I should get rid of those 2 cards, discard those, puts me on to 9 against 6. Now, let's just say we've done Race for the Sun, we've done Dogs, and let's put us back a bit. So they won the last 2, so they've gone 1, 2, 1, and they've got 2 more cards. No, they don't get any cards because they've got to get past these to get cards. Right, sorry, I got it wrong. Allies have got the cards what they should have done. Axis won't get them until they pass these ones. Right, so we'll race quickly to Dogger Bank. It's a sea battle, and the Allies go first. So the Allies put up their first fleet. They put up their fleet. We put up our fleet. And they got. Do they play a special? I don't think we did play a special. No, so they can play a special, draw an extra card. But it's no use to them. Right. So no support is available for these. No specials but made anything. So this is just a simple walkover. 5 versus 4, 1 versus nothing. So uncontested. So that goes out the game because it's wanked out, completely beaten, washed away there to nothing, and there we go again. So we've won this battle, and we get 2 more cards and 2 more points, and so on and so forth. That's how it goes. When the cards come out balanced, this is a very good game. You can't cheat by sorting your cards out, but I do suggest you give a really good shuffle. And on your first 9 cards, if you don't get at least 4 armies and a couple of good support cards, I would say call a mulligan, discard them, or put them at the bottom of the deck, or shuffle them back in the deck and draw again. That's not in the rules, but in the spirit of actually playing a game, you want to be able to play a game. And you saw there from me just shuffling the cards, drawing them from the deck as I'm supposed to. The Axis got beaten so easily and so often. It wasn't, there was no battle there. Things I like about the game, the artwork's good. Of course, I love the way the map works. I like the tug of war effect for the battles. The playing the support cards face down and then rolling the die to add 1s, 2s, and 3s. So it gives you some sort of control over your battle, because it's totally random what cards you're going to get, and that kills it for me. That's one of the worst things is that, and I do not like the sea battles under any way, shape, or form. If you get sea cards, say you've got one deck's got 4 and one deck's got 5. Now you've shuffled them all in, and if accidentally or unfortunately you draw 4 sea cards in your first 9 cards, then you've got 4 land battles before you get to a sea battle. Now the chances are, if you've already got 4 sea battles, you're going to 4 sea cards, fleets. It's fairly guaranteed that you're going to win that particular battle. But is it worth it? It's worth 2 extra cards and 2 bonus points. Yes, the 2 bonus points are very good, very nice, but by that time you could already be 6, 7, 8 bonus. 8 down, the game could be lost before you got there. If you don't hang on to them, then you've got more chance of winning the land battles, or at least making the land battles balanced and into a good fight. So I suppose just more chance of winning, and that plays out well. And in the sea battles, well, when you get to the sea battles, if neither side's got any sea cards, any fleets, then the sea battle just doesn't happen, which is probably for the best. To be perfectly honest, do not like them. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only other thing I don't like is the drawing 4 cards at the end of the turn when we get on to the next battle. You only draw 4 cards, which means if you've drawn a hand of support cards or all army cards or a load of specials or whatever, which is quite possible, as you only get 4 cards to add to it. You got no options. Let's say here, look, we're going on to the Missourian Lakes, and they're starting with 3 army of support and a special. So they draw 4 more cards. Oh, they got a fleet. They got an army, a support, and an army. Fleet cards absolutely no good. We've gone past Dogger Bank. We've got 4 more fights before we get to the next one. So that'll be a discard and a draw. And over here we've got 7 cards. We draw 4 more. I'm not going to go through the whole fight, don't worry. But we've got another army, which gives us 6 armies to choose from. Another support card. So we've got to get these down to 9. Well, basically you're going to keep your 2 supports, you're going to keep your army cards, and you're going to look at which is the best special. draw 3 cards, keep 2 of them, and discard the third one to the discard pile. You don't draw down to 9 I don't believe till the end. You draw down to 9 at this stage. If you get cards during the game, I think you hold it and give them up at the end. But it doesn't matter. It's some of these cards really work, but some of them even balance the game. This one in particular, the opponent must place 2 army cards on the discard pile. You've seen how hard it is to get army cards, so we'll do that. We'll throw those 2 into the discard pile, and we get to play in specials. On one front, you can put 2 armies instead of 1. Okay, we'll use that. That gives us a bonus. I said I wasn't going to play through this, but I'm getting quickly through it. This one says throw 2 army cards away. So he's got to throw 2 army cards away, and there's not much you can do.